A lot of you know me as the chairman of the party or on the executive board of the Democratic National Committee, or maybe even as a candidate for clerk of the court. That's the end of the commercial. That's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is to talk to you a little bit about what's ensued, what you've seen on TV, and why I'm frankly angry. Angry as all of you should be, as all of us America should be. This was a case in which a clerk, a county clerk in Kentucky, said, I will not issue marriage licenses to gay couples. What's noteworthy about that is not that a county clerk in the South said that. What's now noteworthy is the fact that this was after the U.S. Supreme Court decision. This was after a situation in which a predominantly Republican United States Supreme Court said, we recognize equal protection, we recognize the sanctity of marriage, we recognize that caring for another person and wanting to marry them is the most basic human right, and we recognize that. And then this clerk in Kentucky came along and said, I'm not going to enforce the decision of the United States Supreme Court. It disagrees with my religious beliefs. Now, let's all remind ourselves, I do as an attorney, but all of us have been in the process for a long time, that when somebody takes an oath as an elected official, they are asked to enforce all the laws of the land. Not some of them, not ones that I might agree with, and not enforce the ones I don't agree with, but enforce all the laws of the land. And if you can't do that as a county clerk or an elected official, you should resign. Keep your personal beliefs, because everyone constitutionally has a right to their personal beliefs, but they don't have a right to enforce the personal laws that they believe in and disregard the laws that they don't. This is why I'm angry. And as you know, this has turned into a circus. It's become part of the process of the Republican presidential nomination. If you watched TV yesterday, you saw that they had a rally. And I find it interesting that it was a rally, because first they entered with the music from Eye of the Tiger, which was the song from Rocky, the later song, which incidentally the group that did it notified them they do not have their permission and never use the song again. But what's interesting is I thought it was kind of funny at the time that they used the theme Rocky, because if I remember that movie, Rocky won. Rocky was a winner. She is not a winner. She lost. The Supreme Court said, you must do this. The federal court said, we will enforce this. She said no. She went to jail for contempt. After she was in jail, when they asked, I think, her 6 assistants, now that she's in jail, are you going to enforce this law? 5 of the 6 said yes. Does anyone know who the 6th was, the 6th assistant?
Her son.
Correct. Her son was the only one who said, well, I won't enforce it. Well, they released her, not based on any guilt she felt or any remorse, which she frankly should have, because she's not enforcing all the laws of this country, but because the court found that they believe that her assistants will now enforce it irrespective of her. But that judge also said, if you get in the way, you're going back to jail. Now, if you also notice, she got free counsel. Okay? She got free counsel from a group called, of course, Liberty, which is kind of ironic. And when Liberty was, and that's just the first part of the title, when Liberty was asked on CNN the other day, we've noticed that you're giving free advice, because they are a very, very extremely conservative religious group. And it's okay to be religious, and it's okay sometimes to be conservative, but not necessarily when they are usually the people asking for the enforcement of law, except when it's not convenient. And they said, we noticed there's a spike in your contributions, all your online solicitations. You seem to have money rolling in like you've never had before because of this cause. They said, we refuse to discuss that question. Asked 3 times on national TV, refused to answer it 3 times. So make no mistake, this is part of presidential politics. And what the joke of this is what is more of a human right, as I said, than to care about somebody, want to marry them, want to have a bond, a union. That's a basic inherent right found by the Supreme Court of the United States. And if we are to be a beacon, as we say we are, to the free world, as for democracy, as for human rights, we talk about China, we talk about North Korea. The only way we can do that with a straight face and not be China or North Korea is to recognize all human rights and at the very least uphold the laws of the land. There are many who are not happy that the gay and lesbian and transgender movement have gained so quickly in recent years. A rapid acceleration historically, very rapid. And there are those who can adjust to it and those who can't. But let's take the most conservative voters theoretically. Let's take Democrats out of the mix, let's take independents out of the mix. What do Republicans think? Do Republicans think gay marriage is the #1 issue? No, they don't. They think the economy is. They think a lot of other issues. Healthcare. Only 12% in the latest poll of Republicans, and frequent Republican voters at that, believe that gay marriage is their most important issue. So what we have here is an ongoing circus by certain factions, not all, of the extreme wing of the Republican Party, specifically in this case, Ted Cruz, who tried to get on stage and couldn't yesterday. But that's only because he was blocked by an aide of Mike Huckabee. If you saw that, it was kind of fun. But we cannot allow this movement. We cannot allow human rights. We cannot allow the Constitution of the United States to be thrown aside and 200 years of legal rule and precedent. Because if we're going to be a nation of laws, we must be consistent, we must stick to that, and therefore protect everybody's human rights, everybody's dignity. That's why I'm up here today. I'm angry, I'm pissed off. We need to all remain vigilant, all remain unified, all remain together. Doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent. It only matters if you're a human being that cares about others and wants to make the United States, and in this case here today, Broward County, a real community. That's the only way it's going to happen. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this.